Earlier this morning, at the beginning of the hearing, Chairman Issa asked you about the anonymous shopper function. You recall that?
Yes.
You said you had decided to direct CGI to disable it because of defects, and Chairman Issa challenged you and accused the White House of ordering the action for political reasons. You recall that?
Yes.
Okay.
Would the gentleman yield?
No. So during that phrase, also, I think Chairman Issa handed you a document, and I think it's probably still with you there.
Yes.
All right. And the chairman gave the document and said it showed that there were no defects in the system. It does say that the function is anonymous shopper. It does say the CGI said it tested successfully. But then he has blown up a box over a number of the other statements made on the right-hand side. And that box just says 9/22. This feature will be turned off for day 1, October 1. Now, I've given you a sheet there. I believe staff has given you a sheet there that is clean from those boxes and just as the original document without the chairman's blow-ups on there obstructing any of the other materials. Do you have that document?
I think so.
Okay.
This one?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's the original document. On the bottom right, will you read for me the statement there starting with defects identified?
Defects identified by CMS being treated as critical target fixes for 9/12.
And that's, in fact, what you testified to it, right? That you had found defects?
Yes.
And as you read up from that box, you found that there were defects, that you decided to disable the shopper function and focus instead on plan compare.
Correct.
Right? Why did you do that?
Because if given the opportunity to choose a more critical function, plan compare is much more critical in the path of a consumer being able to enroll in healthcare as compared to the ability to browse.
Okay. And so you thought that that was the best priority and you focused attention on that?
At that time, yes, given the CGI resources that were available and actually there was a subsequent date, I think I would have to locate the documentation. We did do another round of testing post 9/12 and it was still failing. So.
And so you disagree with CGI. They thought it tested successfully and you instead had this ongoing belief that it had tested unsuccessfully. There were defects and that's why you made the decision to switch your priorities to the other.
Correct, because the report that I look at is from our ACA independent testers, not from CGI.
Okay. And in fact, that's why the shopper function was disabled, correct?
Correct, based on the report from the independent testers.
So when Chairman Issa stated on national television that the White House ordered you as CMS to disable the shopper function in September for political reasons to avoid consumer sticker shock, that's not true, is it?
I object. The gentleman may not mischaracterize my statement.
The gentleman may not object in the middle of somebody else's questioning. Your questions go through the chair, which you don't currently occupy, and I'll continue my question.
Mr. Chairman, point of privilege.
The gentleman's recognized.
The gentleman is repeatedly disparaging and mischaracterizing what I've said. Could the chair please direct all members, if they want to allege a quote, ensure that it is a quote and not, in fact, a characterization that is inaccurate as the gentleman's is?
The chair would remind each and every member here to direct their comments and without personality and directing those comments to make sure that they're reflected as to not make a personal attack.
Well, that's well said. I didn't know of any personal attacks, so I assume you're directing that at somebody else. But I will read a quote on October 27 from Chairman Issa on national television. Here it is in quote. Contractors have already told us that, in fact, people represented that the White House was telling them they needed these changes, including instead of a simple, he quoted, let me shop for a program, then decide to register, close quote, they were forced to register and go through all the things that they have slowed down in the website before they could find out about a price. The contractors the chairman referred to was CGI, but CGI officials have denied ever saying such a thing. And nevertheless, he went on to claim on the White House, and I quote, bury the information about the high cost of Obamacare, close quote, in order to avoid consumer, open quote, sticker shock, close quote. And that is not why you made the decision to disable that program of anonymous shopper, is it, Mr. Chow?
Just as I answered before, absolutely not.
Thank you. I yield back.
No.
I yield to my colleague, Mr.
I just want to address this to Chairman Issa. When speaking to Mr. Connolly earlier, you referred to a letter sent to you on November 6th. It's not a letter I sent jointly with Mr. Connolly, so he did not read that letter. That letter was about MITRE security testing documents provided to the committee. MITRE told us that, like any website security documents, they are sensitive, and their release potentially could give hackers hints on how to break into the system. So I asked you to treat those documents with sensitivity, to consult with me before making them public. You tried to use my letter to argue that the system is not secure, but that is not what I said. Every security testing document for every IT system, no matter how secure the system is sensitive. Every security testing document could give ill-meaning individuals help in causing mischief. These documents do not mean there are problems with the security of the system. I just wanted to clear that up, and I'll yield back.
I yield back as well.
Thank you. The gentleman's time has expired. And Mr. Chow, I know that you've made a number of comments with regards to your sworn testimony and what you recall or don't. And I would make it available to you, for your reference there at the desk, if you would like to have that, in case there are other questions that are asked regarding that.
Thank you, but I probably would need some time to go over what looks like.
So you need time to review what you've said previously on the record?
It was 9 hours worth of interview questions.
Okay, as soon as the hearing's over, if you would like to come back and review this, we'll be glad to make it available to you.